Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Paul here. So today we're going to be drilling down on the top 5 highest paid Salesforce jobs or careers out there. Okay, so if you want to look get into the wagon of Salesforce, or if you are considering, then I think you should really pay attention. If you're already within the Salesforce ecosystem, let me share with you what is then my experience on how is it that you can actually get into one of those 5 jobs, okay? And also how is it that you can actually fast track. Okay, so to start from, if the question is how much can I actually get in terms of earning, let's say, looking into the Salesforce career. So I can tell you that you're gonna get a lot. Okay, so today I'm gonna be then giving you then what are the top 5, okay? I will share how much you can actually earn, and then on top of that, I will share also how is it that you can actually get there, okay? How is it that you can actually fast track your, let's say, path towards that. Okay, with that said, don't go anywhere, stick around. Let's start with the first one, and please do not forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and join me on this journey. Okay, let's start with the first one. So let's start into this one. So to start from, meaning you can have some questions, meaning with regards to how is it that can actually get there. Okay, so there are a few things that you need to take into consideration. There are a few topics like to start from. You need to get, in order to get to those kind of salaries, you need to combine both Salesforce skills with some other skills such as admin, implementation, or even development. Okay, so but one thing that I can say to you is that none of those are actually the top 5 most highest paid jobs, okay, out there. Okay, with that said, so I'm going to be sharing with you what is it that you can do in order to get there, what are the tips that you need to follow in order to get there. Okay, so another point that you can have on the top of your mind is how is it that I can actually start to learn Salesforce, how long it will take me to understand and actually turn my knowledge into income, let's say, into money. With regards to that, you should be expecting that it will depend on your level of commitment to start from, but in average you should be expecting between 6 months to 1 year, okay, for you to actually be able to have a more solid control of the Salesforce knowledge and platform. Okay, take into consideration that Salesforce is quite deep, but you need to focus on specific topics. With that said, I'm going to give you some videos that you should actually take a look into that is just focus on that. Okay, outside of that, let's start then with the top 5. Okay, and now I'm giving you breakdown of what is it that you can actually do in order to get there. Okay, so stick around, don't go anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you then the top 5, okay, in average, what's the income, okay, and then I'm also going to be sharing with you then what are the topics that you need to follow up, or what are the tips, let's say, that you need to follow up in order to get there. Okay, so starting with the first one. Okay, so the functional consultant is one of the top 5 highest paid let's say jobs within the Salesforce world. Okay, and normally speaking in Europe, okay, you should be expecting to get an average of 82,000. Okay, so that is roughly around 7,000 a month or something like that. Okay, and please take into consideration that I'm just looking at Europe. If you are looking into the US, you need to put, let's say, 20,000 more on top, or 30,000, okay, depending. Okay, so what is a functional consultant about? Essentially, functional consultants are individuals that implement Salesforce products. Okay, normally speaking, they are most often found, let's say, within the consultancies, within the partners. Okay, and outside of that, they will be asked to identify then the customer requirements, translating those into Salesforce solutions, and then effectively and actually help to implement the solution using point and click solutions, okay, mostly connected to that. Okay, with that said, let's go then into the next one. So the next one is around the technical consultants. So they are with an average of 89,000, okay, yearly. So what is then the difference with the difference, let's say, looking at the functional consultants, because they are quite similar, but the biggest difference is that essentially those combine both parties of type of solutions, meaning they focus on the more configuration side of things, okay, more more functional side of things, but also they combine the more development side of things. So the combination of this allows them to be more technical, and this also drives their value, okay, into the average of 89,000. I can say to you that this is a really powerful combination, and it's not just your salary or income that is going up, but also the demand, okay? You're gonna get much more demand due to that, okay? Moving forward, so we are looking into the next level. So here we are about to reach between the 90, let's say into the 100K. Okay, and this is all about the project managers and the program managers, okay? And then you also have a spin-off of this that are the delivery leads that normally are already over the 100K or close to that, okay? So what are then the difference between those? Okay, so program managers are very similar to project managers in the way that they are involved in successful rollouts of several Salesforce products, and the way that you can use to differ between the PM and a program manager is that, normally speaking, a program manager sits higher on top in a more of an helicopter view, while the PM is really, let's say, on the ground and really focus on the success of the specific, let's say, project that is in stake. Also, normally speaking, a PM focus on a specific product, let's say on a specific project, while the program manager covers more than one project per se. Okay, so that is the difference. So moving forward, let's go then into the next one. So those two that are going to go next are already over the 100K mark. Okay, so one is the solution architect. Okay, normally in Europe with an average of 116.2K. Okay, this yearly. Okay, and then of course when I'm talking about averages, you can have lower and you can have let's say more than this. Okay, so what is it that you should expect from a solution architect? Essentially, they are involved on the functional side, on the solution side of the Salesforce products, okay, or projects, let's say. And sometimes there is a confusion between the functional consultant and the functional architect, okay? So the way for you to actually to split and understand the differences between the two parties is that while a functional consultant may be focused on gathering requirements and create a solution together with the rest of the team, but normally they work on smaller projects, okay? So everything that is much more complex, that brings different systems, solutions together, multiple departments, business units, etc., that's where, normally speaking, gonna get a solution architect, okay? And normally speaking as well, solutions architects are mostly found on consultancies, okay? Then, last but not least, then you have the technical architect. This is really not a surprise, I'd say. That is one of the top 5 highest paid jobs within the Salesforce ecosystem. So here we are looking at an average of 138.5, okay, in Europe, okay. And the reason why they are the most paid or best paid is because there is a low number of technical architects, but outside of that, although they have kind of similarities, let's say, with the solution architect, technical architects work in large scale implementation or projects, and they combine both parties, let's say the functional side, the configuration side, but also the more development and technical side, okay? So they can oversee or should be able to oversee any kind of Salesforce implementations, and they should have an understanding of code, integrations, the functional solution or declarative solutions, and they can even know beyond that, know the integration with other systems such as AWS, Amazon, etc., and others. Okay, and then of course you need to bear in mind that in order for you to actually to get the position of a certified technical architect, meaning you need to go through a really long path and even like at university defend your thesis, okay? So that is all about the technical architect. Okay, to close, I'm gonna give you a bonus. So is there a position that pays more than the technical architect? Yes. So you have the VP of sales, okay? Normally in Europe with 150K, okay, 0.5 around that. But this is a role that I would say that not just commands more money between brackets than the technical architect and solution architects, project managers, etc. But there is another reason why, because meaning that is a role that actually is extremely important in terms of bringing the pipeline, of bringing this first kind of connections with the client, actually command the strategy in terms of the commercial side, and that is one of the reasons why they are one of the best paid. Okay, so but that in a nutshell, those are the five plus the bonus, the five top best paid. And now I'm going to be closing on how is it that you can actually get there, what are the tips that you need to follow. Okay, stick around, don't go anywhere. Okay, let's close on this one. So what are the factors, let's say, or tips that you need to take into consideration in order to get into that highest paid Salesforce position, let's say? So starting with the first one, digital skill gaps. Okay, so for me, and based on my experience, okay, this is one of the most important. So you need to put yourself, position yourself in terms of your resume, in terms of the way that you position on a given project, okay, to be closer to a situation where you facilitate digital transformation, okay? If you're gonna get into this, then you're gonna get this perception, not just from the client, but also from your peers, that you are someone that can actually enable business transformation, okay? And this is of added value for the business, for the client. Then the other one is around experience, okay? You need to put yourself into a position that you're gonna get more experience, okay? You're gonna put yourself in a way that you have access to more complex jobs, projects, etc. Just grab whatever you can take in terms of complexity, because that will allow you to get into a high complex jobs, and therefore this will translate into high income, okay, essentially, okay? So the more complex, the best, let's put it like that, okay? So then the other point will be Salesforce certifications, okay? This is a way that you're gonna get to prove yourself, let's say, and to give advice or the perception, let's say, to the clients that you are in a position that you can demonstrate your level of knowledge that you have in combination with your experience, okay? If you can combine both, then you can really showcase that you are with a high level of Salesforce expertise that can be translated into the certification, and then based on the most complex projects that you are working on. So Salesforce Certs is then another one. And if you want to get, or if you want to know which ones you should be actually pay attention to, that you should actually start with, check out my video where I'm sharing what is my experience based on that as well. Okay, then moving towards the two last ones. So one is around profile, knowledge, and expertise. Okay, so let me give you an example. So imagine yourself as a Salesforce project director, okay? You have experience with solution architect, product development, you have experience on implementation of complex projects on multi-cloud environments for a tremendous amount of years. And this translates into what? Translates into the fact that you have really, you are really interesting, let's say, for not just for the client, but also for the company, and you represent an asset of incredible value, okay? So what is it that I mean by that? If you are able to combine your technical background with your business knowledge, business domain, okay, and leverage that with, let's say, exposure to complex settings, complex projects, then you are putting yourself into a position that you have the profile that is hybrid, you have the knowledge because you are used to working deep and complex knowledge, and then you have the expertise, okay? And my view is, if you focus on a specific area, let's say imagine marketing, or if you focus yourself on sales or integrations or whatever, that will speak volumes because it will translate how good you are on that specific point. Then last but not least, location, on-site versus hybrid versus remote, okay? As we stand right now, the lines are getting blurrier, let's say, Before it was all about being on site if you were in the US or if you were in the northern of Europe, or even let's say in Australia, you're gonna get higher salaries. As we stand right now, things are more blurry. I would say that you need to be focused on delivering value for the business, focus on deliver value for the customer, and really smash on the way you deliver your projects, really smash on the way that you hit customer satisfaction. Okay, if that is the case, and if you look at different type of companies, more tech-driven companies, they are mostly the ones that are, and consultancies up to a certain point, they are the ones that actually are open to more hybrid or more remote kind of settings, and there it blurs. Okay, location is still important, meaning on a given geography, but things are moving towards a different, let's say, perspective. So you need really to see how is it that you can learn, how is it that you can work on hybrid or even on remote settings, because the clients are also working on that front. So if you develop your skills on that level, then you're going to be much more valuable for the company. Okay, to close, please do check out the path for overemployment. Okay, so essentially it's my Salesforce journey, and that will hopefully help you to link this one to get faster to the highest paid positions out there in terms of Salesforce. With that said, that's it, guys. Hopefully this was an interesting session. Please do give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and join me on this journey. Take care. Cheers.